I've talked to a lot of retirees over the years, and there's a lot of regretful purchases. So I want to share the top 5 regretful purchases that I've had our clients tell us over the years so that you don't make the same mistake. And I have a bonus one for you at the end, which is by far the number one regret that people make in retirement. The first regret people make is timeshares, purchasing timeshares. And you go to a resort and you go through their little spiel and it sounds really good and it looks really good. And most people that tell me, yes, I bought a timeshare and I regretted buying it 2 feet out the door. It was only minutes old and I already regretted it because timeshares, have an upfront cost, they have the ongoing maintenance, you have to use it, which as you get older makes it more difficult as well. There's not many people I know that own a timeshare that really say that was a great purchase. The odd one maybe, but most people regret their timeshare. Now, if you're looking to buy a timeshare, there's a lot for sale. There's a lot that people are giving away. You can go on, there's websites where you can go on and actually buy timeshares for $1 because people just don't want to carry the monthly costs anymore. So again, if you're looking to buy a timeshare, there's definitely a better way to do it. But most people that get into timeshares in retirement or even before retirement regret that decision very quickly. So don't get trapped into a timeshare. The second purchase people regret is an RV. And I'm a bit of a hypocrite here, even though I'm not retired. I bought an RV about a year ago, and I can confirm what retirees have concerns about this. And that when you buy an RV, it's great. You can travel, you can see the world, you can do a lot of stuff, get away, and it's cheap travel. It's cheaper than flying to Mexico, staying in all-inclusive or whatever it is. But the maintenance, the storage, insurance, the gas, the cost of owning an RV is through the roof. And a lot of people that get into an RV think, hey, this is a cheap way to travel. And I can tell you firsthand that, unless you're driving it to the end of your driveway and sitting in it, it's very expensive to operate. So if you're one of those people that are looking to get an RV, make sure you understand the real cost of it, the storage costs, the maintenance, how much gas you're going to burn. It's going to burn a lot of fuel. Again, some of you are going to buy an RV and have great memories, great experiences and all that. That's great. But for most people, they don't understand the real cost of owning an RV. Now, a lot of you will go to, I'm going to buy a truck and a trailer, and then the truck I can use more often. But remember, if you go from, let's say you own a car, now you buy a truck, that's your main vehicle, it's much more expensive to drive as well. So, you can sidestep the RV thing a little bit, but at the end of the day, there's a lot more cost to it. So just make sure you know what those costs are. Talk to people that are doing it. Talk to RVers. Talk to people that have done the truck and fifth wheel to see if, what is the pure cost of this? Is it actually going to fit into our retirement budget? Or is it something we're going to buy an RV and having to sell it a year or two later at a substantial loss? So understand the pure cost because most people do regret buying the RV in retirement. The third purchase most retirees regret is owning a boat. And this could be, a ski boat, a boat that you go out on the ocean, could be a sailboat. Most people regret this. Boats, again, like an RV, they're very expensive and they're rarely used. When we bought our RV, I said to my wife, we have to use it about 28 nights a year to kind of break even. And when I say break even, that would be compared to renting something or doing a hotel thing. I kind of did a cost analysis. 28 nights, that's a lot of nights. Now, if you're retired, that might be a lot easier. Same with a boat. Most people I know that own a boat use it between 10 and 20 days a year. And boats are not cheap. Ski boats nowadays are $100,000 to $200,000. You might be buying a sailboat for hundreds of thousands of dollars, or a cruiser for hundreds of thousands. A lot of people will buy a boat to bring people together, right? I'm going to buy a boat, my family, my friends. It's a place that we can all come together. Well, you can do that in your house for a lot less money. You already own your house. So just understand, much like an RV, understand the pure cost of owning a boat and if it's going to cripple your retirement. The fourth purchase that we see clients regret in retirement is a family cottage. So a second property, and the reason for that are twofold. A, it's very expensive to maintain. So the ongoing maintenance of it is a lot. And people think, we'll buy a cottage and our kids and our grandkids and our friends will spend all summer there. It'll just get used, it'll be a place of community. And that might be 10% where it actually happens that way. The other 90%, it sits empty, you're there alone a lot. It's not being used the way you intended it or hoped it would be used. And the reality is it's costing a lot of money and it's not kind of meeting that expectation. The second issue with it is fast forward to when you get older, either you have to sell it or your kids have started to use it and you get to a point where you can't take care of it anymore. And how are you passing it on to your kids? Maybe there's a big gain on it. you can't afford the gain. Like, you were expecting to just sell it and pay the taxes out of the gain of the value. Your kids can't afford it, but they want to keep it because they like the value. It's the family property, the family cottage. How do you transition that to the next generation? How do you afford that? Maybe you have many kids. Like, for myself, if I had to pass a cottage to my 4 kids, that's not going to go well. Like, I know the fighting is going to happen down the road. So how do you deal with this? So again, a cottage at a high level is a great thing, but maybe just renting a cottage for a couple weeks every year is a much cleaner way to do it. A, cost-wise, but B, for further down the road for handing an asset off to your kids. The 5th retirement purchase people regret, and this goes twofold. This is downsizing too early or upsizing in retirement. So a lot of you will buy a bigger home so that the whole family can come and be community and you do family gatherings there and all that kind of stuff. You want more space so people can come. And you realize the cost of maintaining that home is substantial. And those people are only coming a couple times a year. And it would make much more sense to have a smaller place and maybe allocate the extra money to a secondary home down south or something like that. Maybe it's just renting. Hey, let's go away for a family vacation every year for, to Hawaii or whatever it is. There's probably a better allocation of those funds. The other one is downsizing too early. Again, downsizing to a condo, kind of a turnkey solution where you can go travel more, but you don't have that home base and you're used to a house and a yard and things you like. Now, there's a point where a lot of you want to get rid of all that stuff, but make sure you don't do it too early. If you can afford to stay in your house a little bit longer, make sure you understand what the consequences of downsizing are. There's benefits to it, but there's also drawbacks. So again, walk through that process with yourself, with your spouse or common law partner if you're with someone, to figure out when is the best time for us to do this, both financially and kind of psychologically and just kind of family. Like, if you have a family that comes to you, are they going to be able to do that? When's that time to kind of cut that rope off? And the 6th and bonus tip I have for you, and the biggest regret, by far the biggest regret, when I talk to retirees across Canada, the biggest regret they have in their purchase and financial world into retirement is regretting that they took their CPP at 60. So when I talk to anyone above 60 that is looking to retire or had retired, their biggest regret if they'd started CPP early is exactly that. Not understanding the consequence of it, not doing enough research. They were relying on Jim or Sally or Bob or whoever at their work or their neighbor. They trusted their little circle around them that started early. And it's the biggest regret they have, the biggest financial impact regret that they have as well. It's costing them too much money and it's non-reversible past 12 months. And so make sure you don't make that mistake. Don't listen to a coworker, a friend, a family member, when to take your CPP, your OAS, how to draw down in retirement. It's not just your government benefits, it's everything else. Talk to your financial planner. Get a plan in place. Know what taking CPP at 60 versus 65 versus 70 means. What are those numbers? I just talked to someone the other day and they're like, I know I need to take it at 60, it's the best thing for me. We did a plan for her and it was by far the worst thing. She's now taking it at 70 or plans to. It was a substantial difference, 6-figure difference taking it later within her overall plan. Make sure you understand, don't make this retirement regret that many Canadians do. It's not that you shouldn't take it at 60, just know what the difference is. Know what it's costing you to take it early versus delaying it and have a better tax plan within your retirement plan.